Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So, you know me, my brain is always racking about stuff. I was sitting here listening to, and I always say listening to because, to be honest with you, when I play my videos, I usually walk away, put my headphones on, and I don't look at myself. So, yeah, that's kind of how I look at the experience. It's more so about listening, whatever. But so, this is what came to mind. Forget all that. The Nets work for Ben Simmons. Kyrie for Ben Simmons, it works. Here's the thing. How the hell do you sell that to KD and James Harden? Because Kyrie is who you would trade. There's an article out there that was written in July that I just stumbled upon where a guy, I'm sorry I didn't get named, stuff like that. I'm just not prepared that way. But he was just essentially saying, yo, this is possible. Hypothetically, you can do that. The Nets would be inclined at that time, according to him, but Philadelphia probably wouldn't want to bring back Kyrie. Well, right now, I'm sure they would love to bring back Kyrie. Here's the problem. When you do a deal like that, that's going to cost you a lot of picks. Brooklyn's going to definitely ask for picks because they don't have any incentive to give away Kyrie Irving to you for Ben Simmons, taking back Ben Simmons' contract. But let me tell you this. This is what I've come to terms with in regards to Ben Simmons going to the Nets. This is the truth. Who better to withstand the spacing issues in the league than the two greatest offensive players in the world? James Harden and KD. Who better? Who can live with him not shooting the ball and still dominate? Them two. Who could use his defense because they were one of the worst defensive teams in the league last year despite being the front runners to win a championship? Those guys. Who can they not trust to be there every day and don't know whether or not he's going to go down with another injury? On top of that, my man's Kyrie. I'm sorry. It is what it is. The reality is, I don't trust him. I trust him on the court. He's already proven he's a champion. Hey, we know. We've seen it. But couple his injury history with the uncertainty of what his choices will be. History has shown us we have reason to be skeptical. Very. Coupled with the things that we have heard, even though none of that has to necessarily be true about the locker room and stuff like that. It does stand to reason that extending him is a hell of a risk at the price that he's going to be. Now, letting him walk is a hell of a risk, too. Don't get it twisted. It's the greatest dribbler the ball has ever seen. Don't get it twisted. He's one of the greatest finishers the game's ever seen. He's got two categories knocked out. So don't play with Kyrie Irving. I'm not. But what I'm telling you is, for the circumstances, I think him at a high contract could potentially be a bad contract. I think most people agree. You sign Kyrie Irving to a $170 million contract, 4 years, and you're worried. Literally. I'm sorry. It's the truth, fam. What you want me to do? It's the truth. That's on him. He has to put basketball first. I understand how he sees the world is different and how he sees what he's doing is different. And he's doing a lot of other stuff that is amazing, that deserves an hour and a half out of me in regards to the good things that he's doing in this world. I'm aware. That ain't got nothing to do with basketball, fam. He ain't playing. He ain't putting basketball first. My man's Kyrie is not putting basketball first. And if he wants people to value him in a way that against guys that do, he's got to understand that there are things that he's going to have to dedicate himself to going forward. And he's going to have to prove that. And maybe he doesn't feel he has to, but that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him. You know what I mean? And if those who are in the NBA see it the way I do, they're going to make him pay. So, with all of that being said, if KD and James Harden give me the finger and say absolutely not, I walk away and don't say another thing because it's up to them if this ultimately were to go down. But what I'm saying is, if I were the GM, I would say, if I can get substantial equity on top of Ben Simmons, would you allow me to pull the deal off? Because if so, I think I can do it. Substantial equity. because I'm not gonna do it straight up. There's no way I'm giving them Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons. It's not happening. But if they give me like a couple pick swaps, Tyrese Maxey, you feel me? Depending on how many picks and what those picks look like, Kyrie, thank you. You going to Philadelphia to play with Joel Embiid, that's a good situation. That's a good situation. That's not like I'm sending Kyrie somewhere he can't win. They can win. Joel Embiid and Kyrie Irving can win, fam. Tobias Harris, they can win. So don't think this is something that's bad for Kyrie. I don't see it that way. I think for Philadelphia and what their timeline is, that suddenly kind of bad contract for Kyrie, they can extend him and feel good about it because it'll be aligned and on par with Joel Embiid. That's a good situation, I'm telling you. And for Ben Simmons, it gives them everything they need over there. He ain't taking no shots from them two superstars. He's being the defensive player they need him to be. They got a bunch of young players that they're finding all over the place. The scouts are doing all kinds of stuff. Those are players that KD, James Harden, and Ben Simmons can create for. They're finding them all over the roster. I'm telling you. And I don't expect they would have to give any of them up to Philadelphia in no deal like this. And most importantly, it gives them some sense of insurance for the timeline as it goes forward past KD, who I believe is going to play for the next probably 7 years, but not sure he's going to play for you for the next 7 years. Let's keep it real. Brooklyn needs to have some things in place for life after James Harden and KD. Because even though they're on par for the next 5 years, after that, what you got? Who knows, right? Maybe Ben Simmons can help you with that. Maybe Ben Simmons can give you some type of vision forward after that, or a trade piece that you can use to get some equity later. Now, Ben Simmons' value is very low, which is why something like this is logical. If you're buying him at value, different conversation. But because you're buying low, you, in theory, should be getting back a lot more value than what you're giving up in the difference between Kyrie Irving's value to you and Ben Simmons' value to Philadelphia. So, like I said, this ends if KD looks at me and laughs, say, "No, we ain't doing this. I ain't pressing that issue," you know. And I respect Kyrie Irving, so I would have a conversation with Kyrie Irving and explain all this to him before even making a move like this if I'm a GM, because that's just how I would do business. But like I said, when you don't put basketball first, it literally costs you in the market. It just does, man. Like, people are gonna look at you and say, "This guy is a great player," but if I can only pencil him in for a certain amount of time, and I'm weighing that against what he's already done or haven't done, in some cases, it's just, I'm not going to look at him like I look at Kawhi. And I said this before, even though Kawhi and him are similar in some ways, Kawhi's won 2 championships on his own. Like, not on his own, but like he's been the MVP in the finals in both of those situations. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a different cachet. It just is. So, and the two-way ability, the fact that Kawhi is known for both sides of the floor versus Kyrie, who makes his living on the offensive end, that's also worked in. Kyrie's size, worked in. It just is what it is, man. If Kyrie had a Shaq body or a LeBron body, it would be actually a different story for some of the stuff that he's doing. I don't think people look at it the same way. They may get on his case, but at least, this dude's a superior body, so when we put him out there, we know he's going to do stuff. Kyrie can do stuff, but he also gets hurt. He's also a smaller person that doesn't affect the defense as much. And that stuff matters, no matter how amazing of a magician he is with the things that he's great at. So, I've been one all day long to talk this way. I don't mean no disrespect when I bring up stuff like this. It's just how my brain works. And at the end of the day, I'm a believer in both of the players. So I think they can win where they go. But it's just about, for Ben Simmons, finding the right fit. And they're far and in between around the league. I think Houston is the best one. But if Kyrie were on the table, Philadelphia should consider. That's a better return than anything else I can think of, including John Wall. Kyrie, take Kyrie. So, I don't know. Do you give up a couple picks? Well, I'll tell you this. If you have to give up picks, the talent and services of Kyrie Irving kind of soothes the blow. You know, maybe if you trade for like De'Aaron Fox, the same. But like, if you're not taking back the right type of return, or if you're bringing back 4 quarters, as Max Kellerman says, and then you just giving up picks and letting Ben Simmons walk out the door, that's a fail. You had better bring back Kyrie Irving, John Wall, De'Aaron Fox. Selling it anything less to your fans who are expecting to compete for a championship this year is a mistake. So, yeah, a name like Kyrie, they'll look at that as a win. They won't, I mean, savvy fans will be, they'll have a damn heart attack when they find out the picks they'll have to give up. But the common fan, all they're going to see is the name Kyrie Irving leaving for Ben Simmons. That's a win. Are you kidding me? If you casuals are going to eat that up, that's silly. They're going to love that. And in theory, that breaks up the Nets, even though savvy minds like myself know that that's not what happens there. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to like, and it gives you another storyline. Nets versus Philly. Kyrie goes back to the Nets and gets back at them for trading them. I mean, the storyline is amazing. So, that's what I got, man. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching, and I'm sorry to the fans of the Nets and people like KD and Harden who are looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? That's how my brain works, man. What you want me to do? Nobody's paying me. Say what I want. Thank y'all. Much respect. Peace.